is a funny thing. It's almost like as a society we are simultaneously trying to leave things in the past while also making sure that we leave our mark for future generations. One of the ways we have decided to make this work is the beloved time capsule. And when it comes to time capsules, the anticipation is almost as good as the big reveal. Welcome back, most amazing crew. I'm your host Kennedy, and today we are plunging headfirst into some of the most anticipated time capsules left to explore. Let's get into it. Starting us off at number 10 is Time magazine. Completely unrelated to what might be inside this capsule of the past, something about the fact that Time magazine has a time capsule scratches a wonderful little itch in my brain. This historical tube was sealed back in 1959 and placed in the building's 800-pound cornerstone with a unique plan in mind. A two-part reveal. The original idea was to open the capsule this year in 2023 on the company's 100th birthday, and that some items would be replaced or supplemented with new documents before being sealed a second time to await its final opening 100 years from now in 2123. Inside there are allegedly documents relating to the company's founding, speeches, a letter relating to the launch of Sports Illustrated, and the prolific red pencil used by original Time editors, among other trinkets. Now, this plan for the twice-baked opening could very well still happen, just not exactly how it was planned, as the Time company has changed buildings since the capsule was first sealed, and so they'll need to move it from where it stood the last half century in order to complete the plan. The question is, from there, do they put it back in the original spot or bring it to the new location? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Coming in at number 9 is the Nickelodeon Capsule. Unlike every other time capsule on this list, this one is probably the only one that was put together by and for kids. Buried back in 1992, it's supposedly filled with goodies that will make any 90s kid vibrate in their seats, like a Game Boy, Home Alone on VHS, a box of Twinkies, a skateboard, and a jar of gack. Even cooler is that the network actually crowdsourced for the time capsule from the Kids World Council to make sure that it would best suit the youth of the time. Originally it was buried in front of Nickelodeon Studios in Florida, but has since moved twice and is now planted at their California studio. I mean, this one might be one of the ones I'm most excited for, only because of all the nostalgia it will bring when it gets revealed to the world. Coming in at number 8 is the world's largest axe. Found in the beautiful Nakawik, New Brunswick, otherwise known as the forestry capital of Canada, is the world's largest axe. The behemoth stands 49 feet tall and weighs over 55 tons, but it's inside its near 23-foot long steel axe head that all the goodies are kept. The time capsule has stood there since the statue's construction in 1991, and no one really knows what's being hidden inside, which has only added to its intrigue. Does it have to do with the company who built the monument, artifacts related to the province, or is it even something a little more spicy? I say we crack it open and have a look for ourselves. Coming in at number 7 is FDR's time capsule. A lot is known about the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, but one of the things that remains a mystery of the wartime president is the elusive capsule that he left behind. I mean, minus a speech that he wrote for the capsule's celebration at the University of Pennsylvania, no one really has any clue what the heck is inside the tube. Here is what we do know. It was buried on campus back in 1940 and it weighs 450 pounds, so there is definitely more than a letter inside. Some have speculated it could contain military secrets from World War II, others think it could contain speeches from famous leaders at the time, or perhaps it's a little less exciting and just contains some mementos of the time. But nonetheless, it's the not knowing that makes this one of the most interesting on the list. I mean, when the possibilities are endless, it is easy to dream. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see like everybody else. Coming in at number 6 is Cleopatra's Needle. First erected in ancient Egypt in 1450 BCE, Cleopatra's Needle found its way into the US after the Khedive of Egypt gifted the monument to Americans in 1881 to commemorate the construction of the Suez Canal. But what many aren't aware of is that it's not just a high-traffic tourist attraction, but that it actually sits on top of a historical time capsule. Prior to its arrival in New York, 2 capsules were buried, one containing the 1870 census, a Bible, a dictionary, the complete works of Shakespeare, a guide to Egypt, and a written copy of the Declaration of Independence. However, the second capsule put there by the editor of the New York World and the man who organized the transportation of the monument, William Henry Hulbert, remains a mystery to this day. And who knows, maybe this will be the year we finally find out what is hiding underneath the ancient Egyptian obelisk. Coming in at number 5 is the world's largest time capsule. In 1975, a local businessman named Harold Keith Davison put together a time capsule so large that it actually garnered him a Guinness World Record in 1977 and hasn't been surpassed since. Harold put together the capsule on the 4th of July, but instead of a tube like most others, he actually buried a 45-ton vault beneath the front yard of his furniture store. Although no one knows for sure, it's rumored that the vault contains various personal items belonging to Davison, like an aquamarine leisure suit, a Chevy Vega with 0 miles on it, and some bikini bottoms which may not have belonged to him but sound sentimental for some other reason. Sadly, Davis died in 1999, so he will not be able to witness the faces of his community when his time capsule is revealed. But his legacy remains, and just about anyone you ask in Seward, Nebraska is counting down the days until the big reveal. Now, truthfully speaking, at this moment in time, its official opening date is actually set for 2025. But maybe if we're lucky, they might just crack into it a few years early. Either way, the contents of the world's largest time capsule will soon be revealed. Next up at number 4 is George Lucas's time capsule. Calling all Star Wars fans, if you have ever wanted to get your hands on some mint condition Star Wars memorabilia, then you might be in luck. The establishment of Skywalker Ranch marked the beginning of a new era for George Lucas and his production company, Lucasfilm. And what better way to celebrate your career as one of the highest grossing director, writer, producers of all time than with a celebration of the Star Wars franchise buried on the property of the new movie ranch. The historical capsule was buried on the company's annual 4th of July picnic back in 1981 and is said to contain original Star Wars merch, action figures, paperbacks of the original novel, and a 17-minute Super 8 reel from The Empire Strikes Back, among many other mysterious memorabilia. I mean, I for one am dying to know just what else is hidden inside, but if you are planning on getting your hands on any of it, you better start saving. I mean, any vintage merch is valuable these days. Just imagine when this puppy gets unearthed, I bet the cost is gonna be wild. Coming in at number 3 is Westinghouse capsules. Lots of great things come in pairs. Socks, skis, chopsticks, and of course, time capsules are no different. However, these two capsules were not created or even buried at the same time, which is definitely unusual. The first of them was buried back in 1939 under the site of the New York World's Fair in Queens by the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company, which of course is where it gets the name. Inside the OG capsule is supposedly newsreels, seeds, a pack of Camel cigarettes, a Sears catalog, and even a message from Albert Einstein, among other celebrities of the time. Now, why they added another capsule into play in 1965 was never flat out explained, but speculating from the alleged contents, I'm gonna guess that because of the crazy advancements that had happened since the first, they wanted future generations to see what else they had created. Things like an electric toothbrush, freeze-dried food, a Beatles album, and the birth control pill are said to be stored inside. Now, full disclosure, the instructions on this capsule say that it is not to be opened until 6939, exactly 5,000 years after its burial date. But I mean, none of us will be around by then, and I am dying to know what's inside. Can't we just crack it open now and then seal it back up? Coming in at number 2 is General Dynamics capsule. In 1963, on the 5th anniversary of the opening of General Dynamics Astronomics facility in San Diego, researchers decided to commemorate the achievement by creating a time capsule dedicated to the American space community. However, unlike most time capsules, it's not just filled with gadgets and trinkets to honor the time, although I am sure it has that too. It's most well known for a booklet that's said to be inside. The booklet has apparently been in the hands of prominent astronauts, world leaders, researchers, and military personnel, and contains predictions of how they expect space exploration to have advanced over time. And maybe even a few secrets about aliens? aliens? Okay, that one is just a personal prediction, but I mean, I would not be surprised if there were some alien secrets hidden in a space-time capsule. I'm just saying. And last up today in our number 1 spot is Crypt Civilization. One might venture to say that the Egyptian pyramids are kind of like the OG time capsule. I mean, there are tons of rumors about things that were hidden deep inside the head of the Sphinx, and who knows, it could have been where we got the idea to start this phenomenon in the first place. Well, if not as a whole, it seems like that may have been Atlanta University's former president Thornwell Jacobs' inspiration. Buried in 1940, it was modeled after a cell that one might find in an Egyptian pyramid, and inside the gigantic vault lies items that have been deemed crucial to our civilization thus far. Although considering it was sealed prior to the release of Spice Girls Wannabe, I have some provisions that I would like to make. Mementos such as classic works of film and literature, all the books of faith, the original script of Gone with the Wind, a sealed bottle of Budweiser, and a typewriter are said to be kept inside. Not only that, it seems Mr. Jacobs was thinking ahead at the time of the capsule sealing, as he had an inkling that it would be found by aliens. So at the front of the crypt lies a language integrator, which is apparently a machine intended to help the aliens who open the crypt with our mother tongue. I mean, I can't say I'm not intrigued. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked this video. Again, my name is Kennedy, and if you know of any other crazy time capsules that are going to be opening up soon, make sure to let me know in the comments. See you next time!